Hello, this is Bini here. Today, I'm preparing for this video on Singapore REITs. I was interested to know how the S-REITs dividend yield compared to the fixed deposit. So I asked the AI what's the fixed deposit rate for Singapore, and it came out with that the highest FD rate is about 1.4% for a 3-month placement with Bank of China, and is about 1.2% for a 12-month placement. Now, if you compare this against the S-REITs dividend yield, the average yield is about 6.2%. Well, this is so much higher, so that's about 4 times higher. So this video, what I'm going to do is to give you an update on the third quarter of the S-REITs performance, just some of the key highlights which I thought will be interesting, and also to share with you 2 key points from the chart point of view of why I am taking a look at S-REITs. Singapore is one of Asia's biggest REIT market, with 41 listed REITs and property trusts worth over 101 billion, around 10% of the entire stock market. Yields are attractive to about 6.2%, with a 0.85 times price to book and strong trading liquidity. Now, more than 85% of Singapore REITs hold overseas assets, and the sector is well diverse across industrial, healthcare, retail, office, hospitality, and more. Singapore REITs also give pan-Asia exposure, with assets spread across Japan, China, Malaysia, Korea, Indonesia, Vietnam, and others. With strong yields, regional diversification, and a mature regulatory framework, Singapore remains one of Asia's most trusted REIT hubs. Taking a look at the 2 S-REIT indexed, IH and FTSE, in terms of dividend yield and as well as volatility, the dividend yield is about 5 to 6%. It sets it in the same band as STI, slightly lower than Hang Seng REITs index. But if you take a look at the volatility, then it's around 10%. So it makes it one of those indexes which are less volatile. So in this case here, S-REITs offer one of the highest distribution yield and lower volatility, and in my opinion, it's suitable for those who are looking for stable yield, but at the same time who doesn't want volatility. Maybe you're gonna ask me, there are like 41 REITs, and what can I do if I don't want to individually pick REITs? So you have REITs ETF. Now, these are some of the reasons why you want to consider REITs ETF, including that it's well diversified and then it's professionally managed, but that also means that you have to pay a management fee for that. And of course, then other reasons being low cost, it's convenience, and ETF means exchange traded funds. You have a basket of different REITs inside this funds here. There are many REITs ETFs, so I'm just going to run through the REITs ETF that's listed in Singapore, and lastly to take a look at the REITs index. So here we have 2 REITs ETF, that's Lion Philippe S-REITs. That's one of the larger AUM. The stock code is CLR. All right, it's giving a yield of about 5.61%, but the expense ratio, which is the amount that you have to pay as part of the management fee, is about 0.6% per annum. So it means that your average yield is about 5%. Of course, then we have CSOP, and that's about 5.68% with expense ratio of 0.6. Then next we have another 3 more REITs here, and that's the Amova REITs. And then we have the Philippe SG, APAC Dividends Leaders, and as well as the UOB APAC Green REITs. You can see from here that they have a lower dividend yield. Some of the expense ratio are actually slightly higher than the first 2, which will be CRR and CRT. If you look at Amova, it's based on FTSE EPRA NAR REITs. So what I'm going to do is that this is one of the key benchmark or key index that we are looking at. So I'm just going to give a check to this benchmark here, because they are about 80% of Singapore REITs that's being listed in this index here. This is FTSE NAREITs Asia ex Japan, which is SGD index. First thing what I did is to put in the moving averages. It's slanting down, yes, because it has been in the downtrend, and this is the weekly chart on the downtrend. But if you take a look at the daily chart, which is something that I'm interested, is that the REITs first started to try to rebound around this period here, but it wasn't successful, and quickly it went below the 200 days moving average. The 200 days moving average would be this red line here. So that's the red line. Now, not only that, there was one more occasion that it tried, but it wasn't very successful. Now, it's during this period of time right now that we saw the index successfully climbed above the moving averages. That means that the moving averages flip, right? We can see, for example, the 20, 50, and 100 going above the 200 days moving average. And right now, price has firmly stayed above the moving averages for about 4 to 5 months already. Yes, it's recently had a little bit of a decline here, but you can see that it is still above and very well above its 200 days moving average. Now, what this means is that the 200 days moving average is providing the long-term trend. So it seems that from what the index is showing, that the long-term trend of this REIT index has already flipped. Now, yes, we saw that there was once that it tried here, but it cannot stay there for a long time and eventually it dropped, right? It seems that this time around is the second try. So we're going to look and to see whether the 200 days can hold firm. Now, the second reason why I am looking at the REIT index and I think that is showing some positivity is because that it no longer stay near to the low point. So these were the low point previously that happens around 2024-2023 period, having its lowest point around March period in this year 2025. Now we are seeing that price has departed quite distance away from the low and the index is able to stay above the low point. So this gives an encouragement that there could be some return of interest for the REITs index, but at the same time, technically, it means that the index is well supported here. Now, of course, the last thing to do, apart from the two positive points that I point out, was the moving averages flip and as well as it's able to stay supported. The last thing which the index must show to show strength is that it must be able to close above this recent high here. So these are the three recent high, which necessarily would mean a resistance level. So only if the index can close above and trade above the resistance, then it shows that there are more interest or buyers are more willing to come in to buy and endorse at higher price. Without the index making a new high, that means that breaking above the resistance, then we might see that the index is being trapped in a range. So two technical points here which I see as positive, and one technical point that it needs to be done in order for more positivity to come in. Hope that this video is useful. I will be updating the last quarter of S-REITs in my subsequent videos. Remember to hit the subscribe button and see you in my next video.